Hello, I'm here to tell you about how to use dialogue. That is, how do you use what people directly say in your writing. This is really about the rules for punctuation when it comes to identifying what people are directly saying in your storytelling, whether it's fiction or you're reporting on something. Because there are rules around using quotation marks. So first rule, quotation marks go around a speaker's exact words. When you start off with a quote, that first word should be capitalized. Where are we going? Asked Amber. See, the word where is capitalized. Rule 2. Use end punctuation at the end of a quote. So put them inside the quotation mark. So for example, I want to see horses, said Eliza. Now here, when you finish reporting what someone said, that's where the period goes. That's the end of the quote. I want to see horses. If you want to, well, we'll get into that rule in a second. But here's a better example, actually. Amber asked, how long will we be there? This is the end of the quote, so we used endpoint punctuation, and it's inside the quotation mark. Rule 3. If the next few rules are about where you name the speaker. If you start the sentence off with the speaker, make sure you separate the speaker and what they're doing, namely speaking, yelling, screaming, whatever. Put a comma, put a quote, what they said, and then put a punctuation mark at the end of the quote, as I just said in Rule 2, and close it with a quotation mark. Amber said, comma, I will see you later, period, comma. So you use a comma to separate the words that report the speaker from the actual quote. So for example, if you name the speaker at the end of a quote, you're still going to use that comma to separate the exact words from the speaker, but you're putting it inside the closing quotation mark. I will see you at the bus stop, comma, quotation mark, said Eliza. Rule number 5, if you name the speaker in the middle, because sometimes, that's an interesting way of doing it. If you begin the second part of the quote, if you're interrupting a long quote and you begin the second part of the quote, you would do it with a lowercase letter if it's right in the middle of the quote. Like now, if you have two independent statements you're reporting about what this person says, well, that second quote would begin with a capital letter. But if you're actually interrupting the direct statement, that second part will begin with a lowercase level. Maybe we will see the pie throwing event first, suggested Amber. Oops, that went by. Suggested Amber. Or the barrel racing event. Oh, it looks like off my screen, there is quotation mark here. It's just off the screen. Here's another one. We want to see every event, comma, she added, period. And then here she has a separate event. We would stay longer. Okay. Rule number 6. Every time you have someone speaking your writing, whether it's a report or whether it's a storytelling, the new speaking, the new quote starts a new paragraph. So you'll use the tab key, you'll indent. For example, here's the setup I have. Here we are at last, said Eliza. She rushed to the gate and got in line. So there's a space there. And then Amber starts talking, so there's an indentation for what she said. I'm glad we came to this rodeo, said Amber. She was smiling. And again, now Eliza's speaking. Me too. Okay. And just one last thing, indirect quotes. So certainly when you are directly saying what a person said, if you're writing what a person directly said, you'll put quotation marks, beginning and end. But if they, I'll move my video feed. But if you're just reporting that they said something, that's an indirect quote. So for example, here it says, Amber had fun. I had fun, said Amber. That's a direct quote. But an indirect quote is, Amber said she had fun at the rodeo. So you're mentioning what she spoke to, but it's not the exact words. Okay, so that's how we use dialogue in our writing, whether it's a fiction or whether it's a report, like a news report about what witnesses said. Thanks.